Greetings nerdlings and welcome to AmalgamNation presents World of Lorecraft, Herocraft, Medivh edition. Medivh's mother Aegwyn served as the guardian of Tirsfall before him. 8 centuries before the coming of the orcs, she fought and seemingly defeated Sargeras. This was according to the Demon Lord's plan, as he used the opportunity to transfer his essence into her body where he would lay in wait. 45 years before the coming of the orcs, Aegwyn desired to give birth to a child to whom she could pass on her powers. Against the wishes of the Order of Tirsfall, she seduced the court conjurer of the Kingdom of Azeroth, Niel Asaran, who was a powerful sorcerer of the Order in his own right, only returning later to leave the child in his care, naming the boy Medivh, which means keeper of secrets in the High Elven tongue. Aegwyn was unaware that Sargeras had possessed the defenseless child while it was still in her womb. The boy and Sargeras were given all of Aegwyn's powers, which were to lay dormant until he reached adulthood. Medivh had a happy childhood, primarily spent with friends Prince Lian Rin and Anduin Lothar. One day while out on the road in Stranglethorn Vale, Medivh and his friends were ambushed by 3 jungle trolls. None were hurt badly. However, Medivh fainted after casting several spells. He would at some point succumb to a coma on his 14th birthday, awakening in the middle of the night from evil dreams where he pictured figures giving chase through deep chasms. In a sweat he stumbled into his father's room. When his father touched his brow, power his mother had given him awoke. By the time the force had subsided, his father was dead and Medivh nearly so himself. Spanning over 20 years, Medivh, in a coma caused by Sargeras, was tended by his friend Lothar, as well as the clerics at Northshire Abbey. It is unknown if the two events are connected in some way. Medivh awoke 20 years later under a facade of control and assured the court and his mother Aegwyn that he was fine. But the dark spirit of Sargeras twisted his thoughts and emotions towards an insidious end. With Medivh's powers growing exponentially daily, he had set out to know everything, and he even consorted with the Legion of the Lower Planes. He began to search for something with which to destroy the humans of Azeroth, whom he saw as the only thing standing in his way of true power. He found what he sought on Draenor. Bargaining with the warlock Gul'dan from his chambers in the Tower of Karzhan, Medivh promised to furnish Gul'dan with the location of the tomb of Sargeras if Gul'dan would bring the horde to Azeroth and destroy the humans. And so, aided on the other side by Gul'dan's Shadow Council, Medivh opened the dark portal between Azeroth and Draenor. Aegwyn then appeared to Medivh, trying to reason that this was the wrong path to take, but he heard nothing. They battled, with Medivh emerging the victor and banishing her from his sight, but the battle had drained him, so he attempted to draw power from the very land itself. Aegwyn had survived the battle with Medivh, who promptly set up magical wards to ensure that his mother lived in peace. Aegwyn wasn't the only one to confront the Maverick Guardian. Arcanagos, a blue dragon and one of the guardians of magic, paid visit to Karzhan to attempt to sway Medivh from the path he was being led down. Finally, the blue resorted to using force, but was overpowered by Medivh and burned from within. Once again, Medivh was left drained and left to recover his strength. It was shortly after this time that the mages of Dalaran sent Medivh an apprentice. This young apprentice was known as Khadgar, a name which among the dwarves meant trust. Time passed as young Trust studied under Medivh. He lived within Karzhan with a few others, Medivh studying Morose, serving as his aide, and Cook the chef making meals. Around this time, the war began picking up between the orcs and the humans, as the orcs increasingly struck out of the Black Morass. Medivh was sober about this, even remarking that it was happening as planned. Soon after, the Horde's emissary Garona Halforsen came to Karzhan. Unbeknownst to anyone, Medivh and Garona had a brief affair, which later resulted in a child, the mixed race Medan. Through a vision in Karzhan, Khadgar and Garona discovered that it was Medivh who contacted Gul'dan and brought the orcs upon the lands of Azeroth. Shortly after, Khadgar and Garona fled from Karzhan to Stormwind to warn King Lian and Anduin Lothar about the corruption of the Guardian. King Lian thought of it as one of Medivh's mood swings and did not pay much attention to it, though Lothar believed it was a matter of importance and that further investigation was needed. Later on, he led a troop of human forces, including Khadgar and Garona, to deal with the crazed Guardian. While battling, Medivh cast a spell to drain the youth and power out of Khadgar, making his hair grey and his body useless. With a sword, Khadgar managed to deliver a final strike to his master, ending his life and purifying him from the Demon Lord Sargeras. As Medivh was dying, the body started to transform into demon-like shape, and to finish it, Lothar had to decapitate it, banishing Sargeras into the Nether. At the height of his powers, Medivh worked his magics and struggled with Sargeras in his Tower of Karzhan. His powers were such that the trauma of his his death laid a curse on his once wondrous tower and surrounding area that became Deadwind Pass. The tower has become such a dangerous and accursed place that those that venture in never return. Medivh's magics created Medivh's beetle at the time of the Second War. When Khadgar killed Medivh and destroyed the spirit of Sargeras, Medivh's spirit escaped. The spirit of Medivh foresaw the eventual downfall of Lordaeron. With his mother's help, his spirit attained form, and he was resurrected by the last of her magic. Medivh briefly returned to Karazhan, where he interacted with a past version of Khadgar, though it was a future version of Medivh from Khadgar's perspective. He explained to his erstwhile apprentice that with his burial in the past by Khadgar and his current return to life, the good, the guardian, and the evil Sargeras battling within him had been destroyed, and that he was, perhaps for the first time, only Medivh. Long after the Second War, a strange prophet appeared to various denizens of Azeroth. He appeared to deliver a warning of a looming apocalyptic threat. The young war chief of the Horde, Thrall, son of Durthan, had a dream where the orcs and humans were fighting against each other while infernals rained from the sky. He awakened, and the prophet told him it was a vision, that he must go to the ancient lands of Kalimdor if he wished to save his people. Thrall sensed the truth of his words and set sail to Kalimdor in the far west beyond the sea. Medivh the prophet chose to remain uninvolved directly in the upcoming war, leading some to suspect he had remained a ghost. He has the ability to turn into a black raven. The Horde went to Kalimdor, however, convincing the humans was found to be more difficult. King Tyrannus of Lordaeron and Antonidas of Dalaran both dismissed the prophet as a madman. The king's son, Prince Artus, refused to leave his beleaguered people. Only the young daughter of Daelin Proudmoore, an apprentice of Antonidas, Jaina, sensed that he was perhaps right. When he appeared to her after the destruction of Stratholme, she heeded his warning and prepared to leave for the west. She set sail with a group of her people just as the invasion began. Thrall arrived to Kalimdor looking for his destiny, and his new acquaintance Cairn Bloodhoof, chieftain of the Bloodhoof clan, suggested he go to the Oracle. Thrall found his way through the human expedition until he arrived at the Oracle, but he found Jaina and some humans. As they prepared to battle each other, the prophet appeared. He told them that they must cease hostilities if they ever hoped to defeat the Burning Legion and escape its corruption. They reluctantly agreed. Finally, the prophet revealed his identity when the time came to rally the forces. Appearing in a dream to Thrall, the Night Elf, Malfurion Stormrage, and Jaina, the prophet told them that they must form an alliance to battle the common enemy. He told them that he was in fact Medivh, the last guardian of Tirsfall, and that it was his doing that brought the orcs, and in turn the Burning Legion, to Azeroth. Jaina, Thrall, and Malfurion became convinced that victory could only be achieved through an alliance, and they rallied together to defend the World Tree, Nordrassil. In the final hour, nature's spirits, called into action by the Horn of Cenarius' clarion call, swarmed around Archimonde and destroyed the demon once and for all. Confident that the world was safe for now, and that he had repaid a fraction of debt for his terrible sins, Medivh vanished to take his place amongst the legends of the past. His actions ensured Azeroth's survival, and he found some redemption for his previous crimes. After the events of the Battle of Mount Hyjal, he went to places unknown. He may have met the end of his wandering on Azeroth and somehow departing the material plane, or he may have simply retired somewhere distant. More recently, a black raven can be seen endlessly circling Karazhan, leading some to suggest that the last guardian may linger on in some form. A black raven also appears on the loading screen when entering Karazhan. Nonetheless, his fate remains unknown, though it is quite clear from his final comments that he intends to never be heard from or seen again. In spite of his unknown fate, he left an avatar of himself in Karazhan to give a message of knowledge and power to his son, Madan, so that Madan could decide his own fate. Thank you for watching, and as always, remember, play to game and game to play.